Hey, it's Bisma. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back. Hello besties, welcome to a new video. I'm just so excited to be filming this one because it's a new year. I have new hair. I'm just really feeling this in our channel. I'm just so excited for all the new content that I'm hopefully going to be making here and on my Instagram. Definitely subscribe and follow me on my Instagram. Both of those are where I make my content. But today I'm so excited because I will be sharing with you guys my top anticipated releases for 2022. Now this is the year that a lot of my favorite books are coming out. Please let me know down below what releases are coming out that I didn't mention, or what releases you're also looking forward to coming out this year. And please subscribe. It really does help out our channel, helps grow it, helps push it into the algorithm, helps grow our little community here on YouTube. Okay, so I'll start off with the very obvious ones that a lot of people are looking forward to reading. And so I'll start off with Chain of Thorns, and that is Cassandra Clare's third installment in the Last Hour series. And if you guys don't know, the Last Hour series follows the children from the Infernal Devices. The Infernal Devices is a very beloved book here on my channel and just on YouTube, which I'm so happy about. We all can agree that the cliffhanger we got from Chain of Iron, we need the next one, so I'm so excited to read that one. I just love Cassandra Clare. I have not read a Cassandra Clare book in a while, and I'm getting this itch to read one, so let me know which series I should reread. I'm really leaning towards either the Infernal Devices or the Dark Artifices because those are my favorite series that she's written. Taking my bullet journal because I did a little spread and it's so adorable. So I also am looking forward to reading House of Sky and Breath by Sarah J Maas, of course, and that is the second one in the Crescent City series. I absolutely love this series. House of Earth and Blood was a very big shock for me. I wasn't really expecting to love it as much as I did. It's just such a good series. It was her first dive into adult urban fantasy, and I really loved it. I was really nervous I wasn't gonna love it because before this time A Court of Silver Flames hasn't come out yet, and we were all like, where is that? We want to read it. Where is it? Where's Cassian's book? So we were all really kind of mad at Miss Sarah, but then she popped off. Bryce is one of my favorite characters ever that Sarah J Maas has written, and I'm just so excited to see what happens next in this world. I love Hunt as well, so I'm really excited to read that one. And another one is The War of Two Queens, which is the next book in the From Blood and Ash series by Miss Jennifer Almer-Trout. I love this series. Like, it's my favorite guilty pleasure. I love reading it. I am there for the smut only. No plot, doesn't make sense. I'm still there. I'm having fun, and if you haven't read it yet and you need a good book that's like really fun and easy and stuff, I would highly recommend that one. Okay, so the next book that I'll talk about is All My Rage by Sabaa Tahir. Absolutely love Sabaa Tahir. She is amazing. All of you guys know her from An Ember in the Ashes series. She is just, I just love her so much. I really want to finish An Ember in the Ashes series. I have the last book to go, but I think I'm just going to do a big reread of the series maybe in 2022. We're gonna see what happens, but I just love this author so much. She was one of the first authors that ever responded to my story of her book, and I just adore her so much. And she's Pakistani, and I'm also Pakistani. Like, the An Ember in the Ashes series is one of the first books that I really felt represented. And so this book, all I know is it's told in dual timelines, so one is in the past and one is present. And I know it's told about the family. I also know that it's about a family that runs a motel, and I also know that the character is also Pakistani, and it's about like trauma, I think family trauma, stuff like that, which just sounds amazing. I think just in the Pakistani community, we rarely talk about trauma and all of the generational trauma that we all have and stuff like that. So I'm just excited to read this book. Honestly, I would read Sabaa Tahir's grocery list if she would let me. Sabaa, hit me up. I literally adore you so much. The next one that I'll also talk about is Bloodmarked, and that's the second book in the Legendborn series. Legendborn for me last year was a big surprise. I didn't think I was gonna love it as much as I did, which is like shocking, and it was like an unexpected good surprise of the year. And Legendborn is about this girl who goes to the school, and she finds out that there's a secret society there, and it's a King Arthur retelling. I usually don't like King Arthur retellings. I don't know, I just don't vibe with them, but this one was really well done, and it talks about like secret societies. It's dark academia and powers and like witches and wizards and stuff like that, and throughout it she slowly starts to find her own power, and she gets recruited into this society, and there are two love interests, which I usually don't like, but it's really good and spicy, and I just cannot wait. I just love this book so much, and just the discussion of being the only black person or like a person of color in a predominantly white space, I just really liked it, and I think the character was very relatable. This one got pushed back and forth a lot, but I don't care. I'm gonna read it, and I hope you guys read it as well. If you have not read Legendborn, this is your sign for me to go ahead and read it. So the next book that I'll talk about is Babel by R.F. Kuang, and if you guys don't know, she is the author of The Poppy War. I only read that one, and I have all the books now. I love The Poppy War so much. Last year, it's one of my favorites. I cannot even just put into words what The Poppy War is. It's just so incredible. I don't really know much about Babel. All I know is that it's about a character going to a school, like a very prestigious school. I think they're going to Oxford, and it's like a very magical world. I really don't care. I would, again, read anything that R.F. Kuang writes. I would read her grocery list if she would allow me. And if you guys don't know, like, R.F. Kuang is super young, and she has like a bunch of degrees from very prestigious schools. She is an icon and a legend and a woman of color. I just love her so much. Like, I look up to her. She's incredible, and I will read anything she writes. I don't care what it is. I will read it. Anything. The next book is The Girl Who Fell Beneath the Sea, and I think this is a lot of people's on their TBRs, and I think it's rightly so. This one is so interesting, and it follows the main character Mina, whose homeland has been plagued by these floods, and so they believe in this sea god, and so every year they throw into the sea a girl, like the most beautiful girl there. And this year they decided the most beautiful girl happens to be this girl that her brother is in love with, so Mina instead decides to throw herself into the sea. There she goes down, and she realizes that the sea god is actually asleep, and she and this other guy work together and their little crew to wake him so that they can stop all of these floods happening in their homeland. And I just think that that sounds so interesting. Sleeping Beauty retelling, but with the guy, and I really am excited to see it. I think when they told me Studio Ghibli, I just wanted to, and when I saw this cover, I was like, absolutely stunning. I want to read this. Like, give it to me now. I want it in my hands right now, and I think it's so good. I'm really excited to read it. So the next book that I'll talk about is Queen of Tiles, and all I know about this one is that it's about a girl who enters into a Scrabble competition to figure out who killed her best friend. And listen, I will do anything for women that play games like this. I think we all as a society had a Queen's Gambit phase, and I'm here to live through this. And the girls of hijabi, we love it. We love to see it. We love smart women. So the next book I will talk about is Dating Dr. Dill, and this is a Daisy romance, and it's just so cute. There's our main character Karina, who has always believed in true love. Her father is selling their childhood home, and she makes him a deal that if she gets engaged in the next 4 months, the house is hers. And in walks in Dr. Dill, who wants to fund this heart clinic, and this clinic where he can help people, and he really needs funding, so he started this show called the Dr. Dill Show. However, viral fight between the two of them, Karina and Dr. Dill, goes viral, and he is screwed because that is the only way that he can get funding. So then Karina's meddling aunties, and if you know the aunties, we love them, but we could hate them sometimes. Her aunties get involved, and they're like, if you can convince her that you're her soulmate, you will fund your clinic. And so now it's between these two who hate each other, having to fall in love with one another to both get what they really, really want. And I'm so excited. I love aunties. I really want to read Dial A for Aunties, which also came out, which is a murder mystery with aunties. I just love, like, I love aunties. I love and hate aunties. And I just think I love when people write about them. I'm so excited to read this. I just love Daisy representation wherever we can get it. The next one I'll talk about very briefly is Book of Night by Holly Black. I love Holly Black. She wrote the Cruel Prince series, which is one of my all-time favorite book series ever, and I really don't know what this is about. I think this is about like altering appearances, all of this type of stuff in this world, and I will read anything. She's just one of those authors. I will read anything they write, so I'm very excited to see. I think this is Holly Black's first endeavor into adult fantasy, and I love it, and I really don't want to know much because I don't want to have any expectations. I just want to go into it and read it and hopefully enjoy it. Okay, so the next book I'll talk about is so good. It's called Portrait of Thieves. Portrait of a Thief, and I just need to read you guys the little synopsis, and I'm already hooked. It says, history is told by the conquerors across the Western world. Museums display the spoils of war, of conquest, of colonialism. Priceless pieces of art looted from other countries, kept even now. Chen plans to steal them back. love it. So I think it says like Ocean 11's trying to steal back this stolen art in order to make a lot of money because they're poor college students. I absolutely love this, and I'm pretty sure they're all Asian. Amazing. I'm so fucking excited. Sign me up. If in any way I could get an arc for this, I would literally melt and pass away. This sounds so good. Like, I cannot, like, looking at the cover, it doesn't like look like anything crazy, but then when you read the synopsis, I will hand them my check right now, take my card right now. I want this book. This sounds so good. I love heists. I love heist stories. Ever since I read Six of Crows and ever since I watched Money Heist, I love shows like this and books like this. So this next book that I'll talk about is called These Deadly Games, and this was recommended to me by Sophia. So Sophia, if you're watching this, thank you for recommending me this. So this is about this girl who gets a FaceTime call, and she ends up seeing that her sister is gagged and bound, and this person's like, you need to play these games with me or I will kill your sister. And at first, of course, start out super simple and super easy until they start to get super deadly, like telling her to kill her friends, and she starts to realize that this is a bigger game than she ever thought it would be, and just follows her as she has to do all of these crazy tasks to keep her sister alive. Now this just sounds really, really interesting, like a really good, interesting thriller, I would say. I'm excited to see what the author does. I really don't want to know much more about it. I just want to go in and read it. So the next book that I'll talk about is Only a Monster, and this book follows our main character who thought that she was very normal as well as her family, but then she soon finds out that her family is actually are monsters, and she also finds out that the boy that she is currently dating is a monster hunter, and then it follows her as she has to deal with all of that. Now if that does not sound interesting, I don't know what is. I really don't want to know more. I very much don't want to get my hopes up, but this just sounds like an interesting premise. It really reminded me of Serpent and Dove, which is a series I really want to get back into, and I just love books like this where like the guy thinks that her kind are evil and then they're not, and then they have to figure it out. So I'm excited to read this. I'm excited to see where this book goes. Next book I'll talk about is Daughter of the Moon Goddess, and this follows our main character who has grown up literally living on the moon, which is like holy shit, and their identity is revealed to the emperor, who wants her dead because her mother stole his of immortality, and so then she is forced to flee, leaving her mother behind, but then she has to go on this whole journey to save her mother with all these magic and dangerous things, and throughout this she finally has to confront the emperor. I'm pretty sure one of the emperor is also involved. It has Chinese mythology, which I have never really read before, and I'm excited to get into. I really wanted to broaden my horizons this year and not read the basic books that I always read. I really want to read as many diverse as I can, and honestly I'm always down for a quest. I'm always down for magical powers. All right, you guys, that is all of the books that I wanted to share with you guys today. Again, please let me know down below what books you guys are really excited to read this year. I would love new suggestions. I have a space on my bullet journal, so if you have more book recommendations, please let me know. Also, if you guys would like a separate video where I talk about like the romances and the smutty romances that I'm really excited to read this year, please let me know, because I would definitely do a part 2 just with romances if you guys want, because this one was mostly filled with fantasy and some little contemporaries. But that is it. I really hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye bye.